Now that we've looked at the themes and the target audience of this exhibition, we need to look at the layout to understand how I'm going to form my narrative.
Although I am typically a fan of an open gallery-like setting where people are free to roam around and look at just the objects that pique their interest, I think it's really important in an exhibition like this to set it up in a way where the viewers have to look at the objects in one certain order. For example, if people were to completely skip the chronological order that I have laid out in both the UK and the world wings of the exhibition, the argument that's being made just wouldn't make any sense. Furthermore, if someone were just to look at the contemporary portion of the exhibition, they're not going to get the history and see at least how much progress that women have made, and they just won't get the full scope of the argument and why feminism needs to exist. That is why I've set up the exhibition in a way that you have to follow it from the beginning to the end and look at each object individually.
As you make your way throughout the exhibition, I will have audio playing. This audio will contain different speeches that have been made about the feminist movement. This way, while you're looking at and reading about the objects that I have on display, you will also be hearing a little bit about the arguments about feminism, so that you're not only seeing the history that women have experienced and the different oppressions that they have faced throughout history, but you'll also be hearing a little bit about the argument. As you walk into the exhibition space, to the left there will be a wall full of photographs and paintings of very strong and influential women throughout history and also in the present. People who perhaps identified themselves as feminists, or maybe have just made some kind of powerful change. And as you turn to the right, I will have a video playing of the speech that Emma Watson gave at the UN about her He for She campaign. I believe that this is a very powerful speech that really gets across the point that feminism is not only an issue for women, but also for men. So I think it's very important that as people walk into the exhibition, they are seeing firsthand the point that I'm trying to make, that this is not just an exhibition for women, but I'm also inviting men to learn about feminism.
As expected, the exhibition will be set up in a chronological order. In the UK wing of the exhibition, we will start with the Victorian age, when women had the least amount of rights. Next, it will move into the Reformist period. This is when women started fighting back and gaining more rights little by little. Finally, the last part of this exhibition wing is going to be the 19th century. While this is quite recent, it's not the most modern, as this will be the final part of the exhibition.
It's very important to recognize that this is not just an issue that exists in Britain and America, which is where we normally hear about it happening, but it's really happening all over the world, in places like Egypt and China and India. Therefore, I think it's really important to display different objects that showcase the fact that feminism really is everywhere and it's a worldwide issue.
As you exit the worldwide wing of the exhibition, the room will begin to open up into a more gallery-like setting. This portion of the exhibition focuses on the modern movement. In this part of the exhibition, it will be set up a little bit more like what we saw in the Bank of England. It's going to be much more information-based, with boards that detail the issues that are going on in depth so that we can know exactly what women are facing today. However, in addition to these information boards, we will also have interactive screens, and this is where children come in. These screens are going to be a game that children, or adults for that matter, can play. When one approaches the screen, they are going to be told that they have to complete a series of tasks in different time periods, both as a man and as a woman. For example, in the Victorian age, the player is going to be asked to vote. First, as a man, the person playing the game will see that they are able to complete the task. However, when they try to complete the same task as a woman, they will not be able to do so because women were not able to vote. And this will continue through a series of different time periods throughout the game so that boys and girls can see what men could do and what women couldn't do in different time periods. Also, in the modern portion of the exhibition, there is going to be a large video screen set up with benches so that viewers can sit down and watch the video content. The video will be a long compilation of speeches that have been given recently, but also clips from different protests that have happened from all across the globe. In addition to the speeches and clips from protests, there will also be a video that is a message from the curator. This will outline different ways that people can get involved and make a change. Not only will this include a list of different events that are happening in the near future in the London area, but also just smaller things that people can do to make a change. For example, different ways that parents can interact with their children to teach them how to treat each other, particularly how to treat women, and also small things that we can do to help shape the way that women are treated in the workplace. This contemporary portion of the exhibition is the part that is going to stimulate action, and therefore it is arguably the most important part. While it is very, very important to understand the history of how far women have come, it is very important to recognize that women are not quite there, and there are still a lot of issues that we need to tackle. My goal in this portion of the exhibition is to stimulate a desire in the public to do something about the way women are treated.